Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Frequency in discourse analysis. Frequency in discourse analysis refers to the number of times specific linguistic elements, such as words, phrases, or structures, appear in a text or set of texts. By analyzing frequency, researchers can uncover patterns that reveal which ideas, themes, or concepts are emphasized, marginalized, or made invisible within the discourse. While frequency analysis is often associated with quantitative methods, it plays a significant role in qualitative discourse analysis as well, helping researchers understand how language reflects social norms, ideologies, power relations, and cultural practices. Frequency analysis helps to identify the prominence of particular terms or concepts within a discourse, allowing researchers to make inferences about their significance. It also provides a way to compare different texts, speakers, or time periods, giving insight into how discourse evolves and how it is used to construct meaning. 1. Key aspects of frequency in discourse analysis. Word frequency. Identifying the most commonly used words. Word frequency analysis focuses on counting how often specific words appear in a text. The prominence of certain words can reveal underlying themes, values, or concerns in the discourse. High-frequency words. Words that occur frequently in a text may reflect dominant ideas, themes, or ideologies. For example, frequent use of words like freedom or security in political speeches could indicate key values or priorities. Low-frequency words. The absence or infrequent use of certain words can also be revealing, indicating what is left unsaid or marginalized in the discourse. Example: in an analysis of environmental speeches, frequent use of words like sustainability, future generations, and climate action might indicate the speaker's emphasis on environmental responsibility and long-term planning. Conversely, the absence of words like pollution or carbon emissions could suggest a deliberate avoidance of negative environmental terms. Keyword analysis. Identifying words with high keyness. Keyword analysis goes beyond simple frequency counts by identifying words that occur more frequently in a particular text or corpus compared to a reference corpus. This method helps highlight the words that are statistically more important in shaping the discourse. Keyness. This is a statistical measure of how much more often a word appears in the text being analyzed than in a baseline corpus. A high keyness score indicates that the word is central to the discourse. Contextual importance. Keywords often point to the specific concerns or themes of a discourse. Analyzing them helps reveal what sets this discourse apart from others. Example: in a corpus of corporate sustainability reports, the word innovation might have high keyness compared to a reference corpus of general business reports. This could suggest that sustainability discourse is framed as forward-thinking and focused on technological solutions, indicating the centrality of innovation to the sustainability narrative. Collocation analysis. Analyzing word combinations and associations. Collocation analysis examines how words frequently appear together, providing insights into how meanings are constructed through associations. By looking at which words occur near each other, researchers can uncover patterns that reflect the discourse's ideological or thematic structure. Word pairings. Frequent pairings of certain words can signal commonly accepted or expected relationships in the discourse. For example, if refugees is frequently collocated with crisis, it may suggest that the discourse frames refugees in negative, urgent terms. Semantic prosody. This refers to the tendency of a word to carry a positive or negative connotation based on the words it typically collocates with. Example: in media coverage of health crises, the word pandemic might frequently collocate with terms like emergency, spread, and containment, reflecting the framing of pandemics as urgent, uncontrollable events. This collocation pattern highlights how discourse shapes public perception in response to health threats. Thematic frequency. Measuring the prevalence of concepts or themes. Thematic frequency analysis involves identifying how often certain themes or topics are mentioned within a discourse. This can provide insights into the priorities, values, and concerns being communicated. Thematic categories. Researchers may develop categories based on recurring topics or issues in the discourse, such as economy, education, or security. The frequency of these categories helps reveal what issues are emphasized. Topic trends. Tracking the frequency of themes over time or across different contexts allows researchers to identify shifts in discourse and changes in societal priorities. Example: in an analysis of political debates over several election cycles, researchers might categorize themes like healthcare, taxes, and immigration. By tracking how frequently each theme is mentioned, they could show that immigration has become increasingly dominant in recent debates, reflecting shifting political priorities and public concerns. Frequency comparisons. Comparing different texts, speakers, or time periods. Frequency analysis can be used to compare the use of language across different texts, speakers, or time periods. These comparisons help identify changes in discourse, differences in how individuals or groups communicate, or variations in how similar topics are discussed. Cross-textual comparison. By comparing the frequency of words or themes across different texts or speakers, researchers can uncover how language varies according to context, ideology, or audience. Diachronic comparison. Frequency analysis across time periods allows researchers to track how discourse evolves, such as how certain terms become more or less prominent. Example: a comparison of presidential inaugural speeches from different decades might show that terms like freedom and democracy have consistently high frequencies, reflecting enduring American values. However, a recent increase in terms like terrorism or security could indicate shifts in national priorities due to changing global threats. Corpus-based frequency analysis. Analyzing large textual databases. In corpus-based discourse analysis, frequency analysis is used to study large collections of texts, corpora. This approach allows researchers to analyze language use across large datasets, revealing patterns that may not be visible in smaller, individual texts. Corpus linguistics tools. Specialized software, e.g., AntConc, Sketch Engine, is often used to analyze corpora, calculating word frequencies, collocations, and other patterns across extensive datasets. Generalization. Corpus-based frequency analysis helps researchers make broader generalizations about language use in specific domains, such as political discourse, media discourse, or legal language. Example: a researcher studying discourse on climate change might analyze a corpus of thousands of news articles. Frequency analysis could reveal that terms like global warming have become less frequent over time, while terms like climate crisis or climate emergency have become more common, reflecting a shift in how the issue is framed in the media. Point 2. Examples of frequency in discourse analysis. Example 1. Frequency in political discourse. Analyzing word frequency in campaign speeches. A researcher analyzing the discourse of a political candidate's speeches might conduct a word frequency analysis to identify the most common words or phrases. High-frequency terms could reveal key themes or rhetorical strategies. Example: in analyzing a political candidate's speeches, a word frequency analysis might show that terms like jobs, freedom, and security appear most frequently. This indicates that the candidate is focusing on economic and national security issues, which are likely central to their campaign message. In contrast, the absence or low frequency of words like environment or climate change might suggest that these issues are being downplayed. Example 2. Frequency in media discourse. Tracking thematic frequency in news coverage. A researcher analyzing media coverage of a social issue might use thematic frequency analysis to measure how often certain topics are discussed in relation to the issue. Example: a study of media coverage of the refugee crisis might involve tracking the frequency of themes like economic impact, security, human rights, and asylum. If security appears with higher frequency than human rights, it might suggest that the media is framing refugees primarily as a security concern rather than focusing on their humanitarian needs. Example 3. Collocation frequency in health communication. Analyzing word associations in public health campaigns. Collocation analysis could be used to examine how health-related terms are frequently associated with other words in public health campaigns, revealing how health issues are framed. Example: a study of public health campaigns on smoking might show that the term smoking frequently collocates with words like risk, cancer, and death. This suggests that the discourse emphasizes the dangers of smoking. In contrast, if smoking is often collocated with words like choice or freedom, it could indicate that some campaigns are framing the issue in terms of individual rights or autonomy. Example 4. Keyword frequency in gender studies. Identifying gendered keywords in workplace discourse. Keyword analysis could be used to study how gendered language is used in workplace discourse, identifying terms that are statistically more frequent in descriptions of men's versus women's roles. Example. A keyword analysis of job advertisements might reveal that terms like leadership and dynamic have higher keenness in job descriptions for male-dominated fields like engineering, while terms like caring and supportive are more frequent in descriptions for female-dominated fields like nursing. This finding could point to the persistence of gender stereotypes in workplace discourse. Example 5. Frequency comparisons in legal discourse. Comparing legal language over time. Frequency analysis can be used to compare the evolution of legal language over time, revealing shifts in how laws are framed and discussed. Example. A study of legal discourse might compare the frequency of terms related to human rights in legal rulings from the 1950s to the present. An increase in the frequency of terms like equal protection and discrimination in recent rulings might indicate a growing emphasis on human rights in the legal system, reflecting broader societal changes. Conclusion. Frequency analysis in discourse analysis provides valuable insights into the prominence, emphasis, and patterns of language use in various contexts. By examining the frequency of words, phrases, themes, and collocations, researchers can uncover underlying ideologies, power relations, and social priorities reflected in the discourse. Whether applied to political speeches, media coverage, health communication, or legal language, frequency analysis helps researchers understand how language shapes and reflects the social world. Combining frequency analysis with qualitative interpretation allows for a richer, more nuanced understanding of how discourse functions to construct meaning and social order. Frequently asked questions. What is frequency in discourse analysis? Frequency in discourse analysis refers to how often specific linguistic elements, such as words, phrases, or themes, appear in a text or set of texts. It helps researchers identify dominant ideas, patterns, and themes within the discourse. Why is frequency important in discourse analysis? Frequency is important because it reveals which concepts are emphasized or marginalized in a discourse. High-frequency terms may indicate central ideas, while low-frequency or absent terms might reflect silenced or less visible perspectives. How is word frequency used in discourse analysis? Word frequency analysis counts how often certain words appear in a text. High-frequency words may point to key themes, values, or concerns in the discourse, while low-frequency words may indicate less focus on certain issues. What is keyword analysis in discourse analysis? Keyword analysis identifies words that occur more frequently in a particular text compared to a reference corpus. This highlights which words are statistically more significant, revealing the central themes or concerns unique to that discourse. How does collocation analysis relate to frequency? Collocation analysis looks at how often specific words occur together. By analyzing word pairings or clusters, researchers can uncover associations that construct meanings and ideologies within the discourse. What is thematic frequency? Thematic frequency measures how often certain topics or themes are discussed in a discourse. This allows researchers to identify which issues are prioritized, offering insights into the values or concerns reflected in the language. How can frequency comparisons be useful? Frequency comparisons allow researchers to analyze differences in language use across texts, speakers, or time periods. This can reveal changes in discourse, shifts in focus, or variations in how similar topics are framed. How is frequency used in corpus-based discourse analysis? In corpus-based discourse analysis, frequency analysis is applied to large collections of texts, corpora. Researchers use tools to measure word and phrase frequencies, helping them identify broad trends and patterns across extensive datasets. What can high-frequency words indicate in a text? High-frequency words often indicate the key themes or dominant ideologies in a text. For example, in political speeches, frequent use of terms like freedom or security can highlight core campaign messages or priorities. Can frequency analysis reveal hidden meanings? While frequency analysis shows which words or themes are most prominent, it can also reveal what is missing or marginalized in a discourse, offering insights into what ideas or voices are being downplayed or silenced.